The unwelcome guests. The night sky over Earth's major cities blazed with an unnatural light as millions of screens and billboards flickered to life simultaneously. The emergency broadcast system, silent for decades, now blared its shrill warning across every continent. In homes, offices, and public spaces, humanity collectively held its breath as the message appeared. This is not a drill. Unidentified objects approaching Earth. Estimated time of arrival: 6 hours. All citizens, please remain calm and follow evacuation procedures. At NASA's Joint Space Operations Center, Dr. Samantha Chen stared at the holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting the ominous red dots approaching Earth. "How did we miss this?" she muttered, fingers flying over the control panel as she zoomed in on the incoming fleet. Colonel Jake Harrison, her military liaison, leaned over her shoulder. "We didn't miss it, Sam. They just appeared. 1 minute our deep space network was clear. The next." He gestured at the screen. "We've got company." Samantha nodded grimly. "Whatever tech they're using, it's beyond anything we've ever seen. FTL travel, adaptive cloaking. We're outmatched before they even arrive." As the news spread, reactions varied across the globe. In New York, crowds gathered in Times Square, a mix of fear and excitement palpable in the air. Tokyo's streets emptied as citizens retreated to designated shelters. In Rio de Janeiro, impromptu parties erupted, people dancing and singing in the face of potential doom. Meanwhile, in an underground bunker beneath the Swiss Alps, the World Security Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from every nation huddled around a circular table, faces grim as they debated humanity's response. "We must strike first," thundered the Russian delegate, pounding his fist on the table. "Show these aliens the might of Earth's combined military power." The Chinese representative shook her head and risked antagonizing a clearly superior force. "Madness. We should attempt communication. Seek peaceful." Her words were cut off as the bunker's AI interface chimed. "Incoming transmission from the alien fleet, origin unknown." The room fell silent as a holographic image flickered to life above the table. The being that appeared was humanoid, but unmistakably alien, tall with iridescent skin and 4 arms. When it spoke, its words were translated in real time. "People of Earth, we come in peace. We are representatives of the Galactic Council, a federation of spacefaring civilizations. We seek diplomatic contact with your world leaders." The bunker erupted in chaos, delegates shouting over each other as they tried to process this development. Above the din, the American president's voice cut through. "Ask them why they approached in secret. Why not announce themselves before entering our solar system?" The question was relayed, and the alien diplomat's expression shifted to something akin to embarrassment. "We did not expect you to detect our approach. Most species at your technological level lack such capabilities. We apologize for any alarm caused." As the dialogue continued, Dr. Chen and Colonel Harrison worked furiously at the Joint Space Operations Center. "Jake, look at this," Samantha said, pointing to a new set of readings. "Their ships, they're not just approaching. They're taking up strategic positions around the planet." Jake's jaw tightened. "Standard containment formation. They're boxing us in. Diplomatic words be damned." Samantha hesitated, then pulled up a classified file on her secure terminal. "There's something you need to see. Project Aegis. It was theoretical, a last resort planetary defense system. But we finished the prototype last month." Jake's eyes widened as he scanned the details. "A global shield. Sam, this is, if it works. It'll trap them as effectively as it protects us," Samantha finished. "But we need authorization." In the Swiss bunker, debate raged on. The alien diplomats continued to offer assurances of peace, but suspicion ran deep. Finally, a secure channel opened from the Joint Space Ops Center. "Madam President," Samantha's voice came through, tense but controlled. We have reason to believe the alien fleet is positioning for possible hostile action. Request permission to activate Project Aegis. The president's face paled. Aegis, that's still experimental. The risks may be our only option. Jake cut in. Ma'am, if they decide to attack, we'll have no defense. Aegis gives us a fighting chance. For a long moment, the president was silent, the weight of the decision visible in the lines of her face. Then, squaring her shoulders, she nodded. Do it. Samantha's fingers flew over her console, entering a complex series of commands. On screens around the world, a countdown appeared. 60 seconds to Aegis activation. In near-Earth orbit, the alien ships continued their approach, unaware of what was about to unfold. On the planet's surface, a network of hidden generators hummed to life, drawing power from the Earth's core. As the countdown reached 0, a shimmering field of energy burst from the generators, expanding rapidly outward. It engulfed the planet in seconds, a translucent bubble of swirling blues and greens. The alien ships, caught off guard, collided with the shield. Arcs of energy crackled across their hulls as they rebounded. In the Swiss bunker, the alien hologram flickered and distorted. What is the meaning of this? The diplomat demanded, its calm demeanor cracking. You dare to imprison representatives of the Galactic Council. The president stood, her voice steady as she addressed both the alien and her fellow world leaders. We dare to protect our planet from potential threats. You entered our space unannounced, positioned your ships in attack formation, and expected us to simply trust your words of peace. We are not as primitive as you assumed. She paused, letting her words sink in. We are willing to continue diplomatic discussions, but on equal footing. Your ships will remain where they are. If you wish to send a small delegation to the surface, we will allow it, under heavy guard and strict protocols. The alien diplomat's expression was unreadable, but there was a new note of respect in its voice when it spoke again. It seems we have greatly underestimated your species. We accept your terms, under protest. Prepare to receive our diplomatic team. As the transmission cut off, a mix of tension and triumph filled the bunker. Humanity had stood its ground against an advanced alien civilization, and for the moment at least, held the upper hand. Back at the Joint Space Ops Center, Samantha and Jake watched as the alien ships regrouped, a small shuttle detaching from the main fleet. Well, Jake said with a wry smile, I guess first contact is going to be a bit more complicated than we thought. Samantha nodded, her eyes still on the screens monitoring Aegis's power levels. This is just the beginning, Jake. Something tells me the real challenges are yet to come. As the alien shuttle began its descent towards a designated landing zone, news channels worldwide broadcast its approach. In homes and public spaces, humans watched with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The course of human history was about to change forever, and no one could predict what the coming days would bring. The unwelcome guests had arrived, and Earth had risen to the challenge. But as the alien diplomats prepared to set foot on human soil, one question loomed large in every mind. What secrets and intentions did these cosmic visitors truly harbor? The stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate not just of Earth, but potentially of the entire galaxy. Humanity's audacious gambit. The alien shuttle descended through Earth's atmosphere, a sleek vessel that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. As it approached the designated landing zone, a heavily fortified military base in the heart of the Sahara Desert, swarms of Earth's most advanced fighter jets escorted it, a clear show of force and caution. On the ground, a delegation of world leaders and top scientists waited, their faces etched with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. Among them stood Dr. Samantha Chen and Colonel Jake Harrison, handpicked to be part of this historic moment. Remember, Jake muttered to Samantha, no matter what happens, stick to the plan. Samantha nodded, her hand unconsciously touching the small device hidden in her pocket, a quantum encryption key that would grant them access to humanity's greatest secret. As the shuttle touched down, sending up a cloud of sand, A tense silence fell over the assembled humans. The vessel's sleek hull seemed to ripple, and a door materialized out of nowhere. 3 alien figures emerged, their iridescent skin shimmering under the harsh desert sun. The lead alien, taller than the others, stepped forward. "I am Ambassador Jorax of the Galactic Council," it said, its words translated by an unseen device. "We come seeking answers and resolution to this unexpected situation." The U.S. President, designated as Earth's spokesperson, stepped forward. "Welcome to Earth, Ambassador. We have much to discuss. If you'll follow us, we've prepared a secure location for our talks." As the group moved towards a nearby structure, Samantha couldn't help but notice the aliens' wary glances at the sky, where the faint shimmer of the Aegis shield was visible even in daylight. The secure location turned out to be an elevator that plunged deep into the earth. As they descended, Jorax spoke, its multifaceted eyes narrowing. "Your shield technology is impressive, far beyond what our intelligence suggested your civilization was capable of." Jake, standing near the back, allowed himself a small smirk. "We're full of surprises." The elevator finally stopped, opening into a vast underground cavern. At its center stood a structure that looked like a futuristic hybrid of a submarine and a space station. "Welcome," Samantha said, taking the lead, "to Poseidon's Keep, Earth's most secure facility and the home of our greatest advancements." As they entered the facility, holographic displays sprang to life, showing a dizzying array of scientific and technological marvels. The aliens' composure slipped, their eyes widening as they took in simulations of dark matter manipulation, quantum entanglement on a planetary scale, and other concepts that should have been centuries beyond Earth's reach. Jorax turned to the human leaders, its voice a mix of awe and suspicion. "How is this possible? Our records show your species only achieved rudimentary spaceflight mere decades ago." The president smiled, a hint of steel in her eyes. "Perhaps your records need updating, Ambassador. But we're not here to discuss our technological achievements. We're here because we face a threat that endangers not just Earth, but the entire galaxy." With a nod from the president, Samantha stepped forward, activating a central holographic display. It showed a massive, swirling vortex of dark energy, steadily expanding. "This," Samantha explained, her voice grave, "is what we call the Omega Anomaly, a rupture in the fabric of space-time that's growing exponentially. At its current rate, it will consume our galaxy within 5 years." The alien delegation stared at the display, their usual composure cracking. Jorax's secondary arms twitched in what seemed to be a nervous gesture. This is impossible. Our sensors would have detected such a phenomenon." Jake stepped forward, his military bearing radiating confidence. "Would they? The anomaly emits no traditional energy signatures. We only detected it through quantum fluctuations in subspace." Samantha continued, "We've been tracking it for months, refining our models. Every simulation ends the same way: total galactic annihilation." The aliens huddled together, speaking in rapid, clicking tones their translators didn't catch. When they turned back, Jorax's voice was laced with skepticism. "While this data is concerning, we cannot simply take your word for it. The Galactic Council would need to verify these claims independently." The president nodded, as if expecting this response. "We understand. That's why we're prepared to offer you a chance to see for yourselves. Dr. Chen, if you would." Samantha pulled out the quantum key from her pocket, inserting it into a nearby console. A section of the floor slid open, revealing the sleek, pod-like vessel. "This," Samantha explained, "is our prototype long-range quantum observatory. It can peer through subspace, giving us real-time views of any point in the galaxy. We're prepared to let you use it to verify our claims." The aliens' eyes widened, their gaze fixed on the advanced craft. Jorax stepped forward, running a hand over its smooth surface. "This technology, it's beyond anything in the Council's archives. How did you?" "Necessity," Jake cut in. When you're facing extinction, you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish. Jorax conferred briefly with its colleagues before turning back to the humans. We accept your offer, but be warned, if this is some form of deception, the consequences will be severe. The president's smile was razor thin. Then I suggest we waste no time. The fate of the galaxy hangs in the balance. As the aliens were shown to the quantum observatory, Samantha and Jake exchanged a tense glance. Everything hinged on the next few hours. Inside the observatory, the aliens were given a crash course in its operation. Samantha guided them through the process of focusing on distant sectors of the galaxy, showing them how to detect the subtle quantum signatures of the Omega anomaly. Hours passed as the aliens meticulously checked and rechecked the data. The tension in the room grew palpable as they witnessed the anomaly's effects on far-flung star systems. Finally, Jorax turned to the human delegation, its iridescent skin pale. This is real. The threat is real. But why haven't you evacuated? Surely with your level of technology. The president shook her head. Evacuation isn't an option. The anomaly's expansion is too vast. No matter how far we ran, it would eventually catch up. Jake stepped forward. That's why we need the Galactic Council's help. Earth has developed a theoretical solution, but we lack the resources to implement it on a galactic scale. Samantha activated another holographic display, this one showing a complex network of energy conduits spanning the galaxy. We call it the Cosmic Web, a network of quantum-entangled nodes that, when activated simultaneously, could create a subspace bubble around the entire galaxy. Jorax's eyes widened. You're proposing to move the entire galaxy. The president nodded solemnly. It's our only chance for survival. But we can't do it alone. We need the Council's cooperation, their resources, and their influence over the other galactic civilizations. For a long moment, silence reigned. The aliens conferred among themselves, their expressions unreadable. Finally, Jorax turned back to the humans. Your claims have been verified, and the danger is clear. The Galactic Council will need to be informed immediately. We will support your proposal. A collective sigh of relief passed through the human delegation. But before they could celebrate, Jorax continued, its tone hardening. However, this changes everything. Your planet, your species, has been operating on a level far beyond what we thought possible. The balance of power in the galaxy will shift dramatically. The Council will have concerns. The President stepped forward, her voice firm. The only concern right now should be our collective survival. Everything else is secondary. Jorax nodded slowly. Agreed. But know this, humans, once this crisis is averted, there will be a reckoning. The galaxy will never be the same. As the alien delegation prepared to return to their ships to contact the Galactic Council, Samantha and Jake shared a look of grim triumph. Phase 1 of humanity's audacious gambit was complete. The real challenge, they knew, was just beginning. The fate of Earth, and indeed the entire galaxy, now hung in the balance of the greatest bluff in human history, the Great Deception. As the alien delegation's shuttle ascended through Earth's atmosphere, Dr. Samantha Chen and Colonel Jake Harrison stood in Poseidon's Keep's control room, watching the vessel's progress on a holographic display. They bought it, Jake said, his voice a mixture of relief and disbelief. I can't believe they actually bought it. Samantha's fingers danced over a control panel, initiating a complex sequence of commands. Don't celebrate yet. This is where things get really tricky. On the screen, a web of satellites orbiting Earth lit up, each node pulsing with energy. As the alien shuttle passed through the Aegis shield, the satellites activated in perfect synchronization. Quantum interference field engaged, Samantha announced. From this point on, all long-range communications from the alien fleet will be under our control. The President's voice came through the comm system. Excellent work, Dr. Chen. Colonel Harrison, is your team ready for the next phase? Jake straightened, his military bearing kicking in. Yes, Madam President. Operation Phantom Menace is go. In a hidden facility beneath the Mariana Trench, a team of Earth's most skilled hackers and AI specialists sprang into action. Their mission: to fabricate an entire galaxy's worth of false data, creating the illusion of an approaching cosmic anomaly that didn't actually exist. Meanwhile, in orbit, the alien fleet received a garbled transmission from their shuttle. The message, carefully crafted by Earth specialists, reported that the planet's defensive shield had caused unexpected interference, necessitating a longer stay on the surface for repairs. Aboard the alien flagship, High Commander Vexlor paced nervously. "I don't like this," he growled to his second-in-command. "We should never have allowed them to trap us here." "Patience, sir," his subordinate advised. "The Council values diplomacy. We must give the ambassadors time to complete their mission." Vexlor's eyes narrowed. "Very well, but begin preparations for a potential forced breakthrough. I want options if this situation deteriorates." Back on Earth, the deception machine was in full swing. In Poseidon's Keep, Samantha and her team worked tirelessly, crafting intricate simulations of the Omega Anomaly's effects on distant star systems. "We need to make this convincing," she instructed her team. "Focus on systems the Galactic Council is less familiar with. Show progressive stages of subspace deterioration, gravitational anomalies, even the occasional starship disappearance." Jake, overseeing the military aspect of the operation, added, "And don't forget to sprinkle in some panic. Intercepted communications from affected worlds, distress calls, that sort of thing. Make it feel real." As the false data streamed towards the alien fleet, carefully filtered through Earth's quantum interference field, the human leaders gathered to discuss the next steps. "The Galactic Council will want to send their own expeditions to verify our claims," the President said, addressing the assembled group. "We need to be prepared for that eventuality." The Secretary of Defense spoke up. "We've already begun retrofitting our deep space probes with holographic projectors. If they send ships to investigate, we'll be ready to put on a show." Samantha, joining the meeting via hologram, added, "We're also working on a way to temporarily disrupt their sensors when they get too close to our fabricated anomalies. It should buy us some credibility." As the days passed, tension on both sides grew. The alien fleet, still trapped outside the Aegis shield, grew increasingly agitated. Earth's leaders watched nervously as the aliens conducted regular scans, probing for weaknesses. In Poseidon's Keep, Samantha worked around the clock, fine-tuning the deception. "Jake," she called out one night, her voice hoarse from exhaustion, "take a look at this." On her screen, a simulation showed a distant star system being torn apart by gravitational forces. "Is it too much?" she asked, doubt creeping into her voice. Jake studied the image, then shook his head. "No, it's perfect. Terrifying, but believable, just like the real thing would be if it existed." Samantha sat back, rubbing her eyes. "Sometimes I wonder if we're doing the right thing. The scale of this deception." Jake put a hand on her shoulder. "We're doing what we have to do to protect Earth, to protect humanity. Remember that." As the week drew to a close, the alien ambassadors finally emerged from their extended stay on the surface. Their shuttle, now ostensibly repaired, docked with the flagship. In the fleet's command center, Ambassador Jorax addressed High Commander Vexlor and his staff. "The situation is grave," Jorax began, its voice solemn. "The humans' claims have been verified. The Omega Anomaly is real, and it threatens the entire galaxy." A murmur of disbelief and fear rippled through the assembled aliens. Vexlor's face darkened. How could we have missed something of this magnitude? Jorax activated a holographic display, showing the false data Earth had provided. "The humans' technology is beyond anything we've encountered. They detected the anomaly through methods we haven't even theorized yet." As the ambassador continued its briefing, detailing Earth's proposed cosmic web solution, The mood aboard the flagship shifted from skepticism to grim acceptance. "We must contact the Council immediately," Vexlor declared. "They need to see this data for themselves." On Earth, in the control room of Poseidon's Keep, Samantha and Jake watched the alien fleet's communications light up. "This is it," Jake said, tension evident in his voice. "The moment of truth." Samantha nodded, her fingers poised over the controls. "Initiating Phase 3 of the quantum interference. They'll be able to transmit to the Council, but everything the Council sees and hears will be filtered through our systems." As the alien fleet's message beamed out into space, Earth's most sophisticated AI went to work, altering the transmission in real time. The message that reached the Galactic Council was a masterpiece of deception, blending the aliens' genuine concern with Earth's fabricated data. Hours passed as the humans waited for a response. The atmosphere in Poseidon's Keep was thick with tension. Finally, a return transmission from the Galactic Council arrived. Jake held his breath as Samantha decoded the message. "Well?" he asked, unable to keep the anxiety from his voice. A slow smile spread across Samantha's face. "They're buying it. The Council is convening an emergency session to discuss the Omega anomaly and Earth's proposed solution." Cheers erupted throughout the control room. The President's voice came over the comm system, filled with pride and relief. "Excellent work, everyone. But remember, this is just the beginning. We have to maintain this deception until the cosmic web is a reality." As the celebration continued around them, Samantha turned to Jake, her expression serious. "We did it. We fooled the most advanced civilization in the galaxy." Jake nodded, his own expression a mix of triumph and concern. "Yeah, we did. But now comes the hard part." "What's that?" Samantha asked. Jake's eyes met hers, filled with determination. "Now we have to save the galaxy from a threat that doesn't exist." As the implications of their success sank in, both Samantha and Jake realized that the greatest challenge still lay ahead. The great deception was in motion, but maintaining it, and using it to unite the galaxy under Earth's guidance, would require all of humanity's ingenuity, courage, and luck. The stage was set for the greatest con in galactic history, with the fate of Earth and humanity hanging in the balance. Galactic Exodus. The Galactic Council's Grand Chamber, a vast amphitheater suspended in space, buzzed with nervous energy. Representatives from 1,000 worlds filled the tiered seats, their varied forms a testament to the diversity of life in the galaxy. At the center, a holographic display showed the fabricated Omega anomaly, its swirling darkness a portent of doom. Earth's delegation, led by the President and flanked by Dr. Samantha Chen and Colonel Jake Harrison, stood before the assembly. Their presence, once unthinkable, was now the focus of every alien eye. The Council's prime speaker, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline structure, addressed the chamber. "We face an unprecedented threat. The Omega anomaly, as our human allies have named it, will consume our galaxy if left unchecked. We must act, and act swiftly." Murmurs of agreement and fear rippled through the crowd. The prime speaker continued, "The humans propose a solution. The cosmic web. A galaxy-wide network that could move us all to safety. But its implementation will require sacrifices from every world." As debates raged and plans were formed, Samantha leaned close to Jake, whispering, "I can't believe we're actually here, selling this to the entire galaxy." Jake nodded, his expression grim. "Just remember, the real challenge is only beginning. We have to maintain this illusion on a galactic scale." Over the next months, the galaxy mobilized on a scale never before seen. Thousands of worlds contributed resources and manpower to the Cosmic Web project. Earth, leveraging its fabricated expertise in quantum mechanics, took a leading role in coordinating the efforts. In secret facilities across the planet, human scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to turn their theoretical cosmic web into a reality. The pressure was immense, They had to create a technology they'd only imagined, and do it before the galaxy realized there was no actual threat. As alien species poured into the Sol system to assist with the project, Earth faced new challenges. The sudden influx of diverse cultures led to clashes and misunderstandings. In New York, a dispute between a group of methane-breathing Zorblaxians and local food truck vendors over the definition of edible nearly sparked a diplomatic incident. Samantha found herself mediating more cultural conflicts than scientific debates. "I never thought I'd need a degree in xenoanthropology," she muttered to Jake one day, after spending hours explaining to a silicon-based life form why humans couldn't simply switch off their need for sleep. Jake, for his part, was busy coordinating security for the influx of alien technology and personnel. "It's like trying to run a multinational military operation, except every nation is from a different planet," he complained. As work on the cosmic web progressed, some alien species grew suspicious of Earth's outsized role in the project. A faction within the Galactic Council, led by the warlike Krelat, began to question humanity's sudden rise to prominence. In a tense council session, the Krelat ambassador, a towering insectoid creature, chittered angrily. "How convenient that these humans, unknown to us mere cycles ago, suddenly possessed the exact knowledge needed to save us all. I demand access to their Omega anomaly detection technology." The Earth president, her poker face honed by months of high-stakes deception, responded smoothly. "Ambassador, I understand your concerns. But surely you realize that in this time of crisis, full transparency could lead to panic and chaos. Rest assured, every aspect of our work is focused on the salvation of all species, not just humanity." Pace. Massive structures began to take shape in the space between stars, each node a triumph of engineering and a testament to the combined will of a galaxy facing extinction. But not everyone was content to wait for the project's completion. A radical faction of aliens, convinced that Earth was somehow behind the Omega anomaly, hatched a desperate plan. On a seemingly ordinary day, alarms blared across Earth's defense network. Jake rushed into the control room of Poseidon's Keep, his face grim. "We've got incoming. A rogue alien fleet just dropped out of FTL inside the Aegis shield." Samantha's fingers flew across the holographic controls, bringing up tactical displays. How did they get through? "The shield should have." "They didn't." Jake cut her off. "They sacrificed half their ships to punch a hole through it. They're desperate and determined." The president's voice crackled over the comm. "Colonel Harrison, you have authorization to use all necessary force to repel this attack. We cannot allow them to jeopardize the Cosmic Web project." Jake nodded grimly. "Understood, Madam President." Initiating defense protocols now. What followed was a battle unlike anything Earth had ever experienced. The rogue alien fleet, a mishmash of ships from various species, clashed with Earth's defense forces high above the planet's atmosphere. Experimental human weapons, hastily adapted from alien technology, lit up the sky. Quantum disruptors tangled with plasma beams, while gravity wells warped the very space around the battling ships. From Poseidon's Keep, Samantha coordinated the planet's defenses, her mind racing to keep up with the chaos unfolding on her screens. "Jake, we've got breaches in sectors 7 and 13. Redirect the Aegis energy flow to compensate." Jake, commanding the counteroffensive from a high-altitude command ship, barked orders to his squadrons. "Echo Team, flank those cruisers. Delta, I need suppressing fire on that battleship's main cannon." The battle raged for hours, a spectacular and terrifying display visible from the surface of every inhabited planet in the solar system. Alien civilians and human citizens alike watched in awe and fear as the fate of the galaxy seemed to hang in the balance. Finally, with a series of brilliant explosions, the last of the rogue fleet was neutralized. An eerie silence fell over the battlefield, broken only by the crackle of burning wreckage and the hum of Earth's defense systems powering down. In the aftermath, as rescue operations began and damage reports flooded in, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. The Earth delegation, battle-weary but resolute, once again stood before the assembled representatives. The Prime Speaker's voice echoed through the chamber. "We have witnessed a grievous breach of galactic law, but we have also seen the humans defend not just their world, but the entire cosmic web project, with valor and skill that cannot be denied." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the assembly. Even the Krelat ambassador nodded grudgingly. The Prime Speaker continued, "In light of these events and the ongoing Omega Anomaly crisis, I propose that we officially recognize Earth as a full member of the Galactic Council, with all rights and responsibilities therein." The motion passed with overwhelming support. As congratulations poured in, Samantha and Jake exchanged a look of mingled triumph and trepidation. "We did it," Samantha whispered. "We're part of the galactic community now." Jake nodded, his expression serious. "Yeah, but at what cost? How long can we keep up this charade?" As they made their way back to Earth, hailed as heroes and saviors, the weight of their deception pressed heavily upon them. The cosmic web was becoming a reality, but it was built on a foundation of lies. And as Earth took its place among the stars, Samantha and Jake couldn't help but wonder, when the truth finally came out, would humanity be hailed as the galaxy's greatest saviors, or condemned as its most cunning deceivers? The galactic exodus was underway, driven by a threat that existed only in humanity's imagination. But the consequences of their audacious gambit were all too real, and the final reckoning was yet to come. The truth unravels. The cosmic web, a shimmering network of quantum-entangled nodes stretching across the galaxy, was finally complete. Billions of beings from thousands of worlds gazed in awe at the greatest engineering feat in galactic history. At the center of it all stood Earth, the unlikely savior, ready to guide the galaxy to safety. In Poseidon's Keep, Dr. Samantha Chen stared at the countdown timer on the main display. "T-1 hour until activation," she announced, her voice a mix of excitement and dread. Colonel Jake Harrison, standing beside her, nodded grimly. 1 hour until we either save the galaxy or become the greatest criminals in cosmic history." The plan was simple in theory. Activate the cosmic web, simulate the escape from the non-existent Omega Anomaly, and emerge as heroes in a new, safe region of space. In practice, it was the most complex and risky operation ever attempted. As final preparations were made, a commotion erupted in the facility's communication center. A junior officer burst into the main control room, his face pale. "Dr. Chen, Colonel Harrison, we've got a problem. The Krelat, they've broken through our quantum interference field." Samantha's blood ran cold. "What? How?" The officer swallowed hard. "They've been working on a countermeasure in secret. They're broadcasting a message to the entire galaxy right now, exposing our deception." Jake cursed under his breath. "Pull it up on the main screen. Now." The holographic display flickered to life, showing the insectoid face of the Krelat ambassador. His chitinous mandibles clicked in fury as he spoke. "Have been deceived. There is no Omega Anomaly. The humans have orchestrated the greatest lie in galactic history. Their cosmic web is nothing but a tool to assert dominance over us all." Samantha and Jake watched in horror as the ambassador presented evidence, intercepted communications, anomalies in the data, testimony from scientists who had noticed discrepancies. The carefully constructed illusion was unraveling before their eyes. Across the galaxy, confusion and anger spread like wildfire. Ships that had been preparing for the grand journey suddenly powered up weapons. The Galactic Council erupted into chaos, millennia-old alliances shattering in an instant. In Poseidon's Keep, alarms blared as reports of approaching hostile fleets poured in. The president's voice, tense but controlled, came over the comm system. "Dr. Chen, Colonel Harrison, we need options. Now." Samantha's mind raced. Years of deception, the hopes of humanity, the fate of the galaxy. It all came down to this moment. She took a deep breath and made a decision that would alter the course of history. "Madam President," she said, her voice steady, I suggest we tell the truth. All of it. Jake looked at her in shock. Sam, are you sure? That's suicide. She met his gaze, determination in her eyes. It's the only way. We've come too far to back down now. The president was silent for a long moment. Then, do it. Within minutes, Samantha stood before a hastily assembled array of quantum communicators, broadcasting to every corner of the galaxy. She took a deep breath and began. People of the galaxy, I am Dr. Samantha Chen of Earth. What the Krelat ambassador has told you is true. There is no Omega anomaly. We deceived you all. A collective gasp seemed to echo across the stars. But our deception was born not of malice, but of desperation and hope. For centuries, we watched the stars, knowing we were not alone but fearing what contact might bring. We saw a galaxy plagued by conflict, divided by ancient grudges and territorial disputes. She paused, letting her words sink in. The cosmic web was never about fleeing a non-existent threat. It was about bringing us all together, uniting the galaxy in a common purpose. And in that, we have succeeded beyond our wildest dreams. As Samantha spoke, something extraordinary began to happen. Across the galaxy, beings of all species gathered around view screens and holographic projectors, listening. The approaching fleets slowed, weapons powered down. Look at what we have accomplished together, Samantha continued, her voice gaining strength. We've created a network that connects every world, every species. We've shared knowledge and resources on an unprecedented scale. Ancient enemies have worked side by side, united by a common goal. In the Galactic Council chamber, the Prime Speaker raised a crystalline appendage for silence as Samantha's words echoed through the hall. The Omega anomaly may have been a lie, but the friendships forged, the alliances built, the knowledge shared, those are real. We stand at a crossroads. We can choose to let anger and betrayal drive us back into isolation and conflict, or we can choose to move forward, to use the cosmic web not to flee, but to bring our galaxy closer together than ever before. As she spoke, Jake worked feverishly at a nearby console. He sent a signal, and suddenly the cosmic web lit up. But instead of transporting the galaxy, it created a breathtaking visual display, showcasing the beauty and diversity of every connected world. Samantha's voice soared. This is the true power of the cosmic web, not to run from our problems, but to face them together. Not to divide us, but to unite us. We offer a sincere apology for our deception, and we place ourselves at the mercy of the galactic community. But we also offer a vision of a truly united galaxy, free from the conflicts that have plagued us for eons. As her words faded, an eerie silence fell across the galaxy. In Poseidon's keep, Samantha slumped back, emotionally drained. Jake put a supportive hand on her shoulder. That was incredible, he whispered. For what seemed like an eternity, the fate of humanity and the future of the galaxy hung in the balance. Then, slowly, responses began to pour in. The Prime Speaker's voice rang out, addressing not just the Council, but the entire galaxy. We have been deceived, yes, but we have also been given a gift beyond measure. The humans dared to dream of a truly united galaxy, and in their audacity, they have shown us what we can achieve together. One by one, representatives from worlds across the galaxy spoke up. Many expressed anger and a sense of betrayal, but an increasing number spoke of hope, of the possibilities that lay before them. The Krelat ambassador, who had exposed the deception, chittered thoughtfully. The humans have committed a great wrong, but they have also given us a great opportunity. Perhaps it is time to move beyond ancient hatreds. As the debate raged on, it became clear that a new era was dawning. Earth would face consequences for its deception, but it would not face them alone. The bonds forged in crisis, though born of a lie, had created something real and lasting. In Poseidon's keep, Samantha and Jake watched the proceedings with a mixture of hope and trepidation. The president's voice came over the comm, tinged with awe. I don't know whether to court-martial you or give you a medal." Samantha managed a weak smile. "Maybe both, Madam President." As the galactic community began the long process of reconciliation and charting a new course, Samantha and Jake stood at the heart of the Cosmic Web Control Center, watching the streams of data that represented the hopes and dreams of trillions. "So," Jake said, a hint of his old humor returning, "what's our next trick?" "Intergalactic peace." Samantha laughed, feeling the weight of years lift from her shoulders. "One galaxy at a time, Jake. One galaxy at a time." As dawn broke on a new era of galactic cooperation, humanity found itself at the center of a transformed cosmic order. The Great Deception had unraveled, but from its threads, a new tapestry of unity had been woven. The journey ahead would be challenging, but for the first time in galactic history, it was a journey that would be taken together.